Good evening, my movie-loving brothers and sisters. How are you guys doing on this Tuesday evening? Thank you for joining us on the Screen Talk Live YouTube channel where we talk about all things movies, movie news, and other screen-related junk. I am, of course, your humble host, Keith Toothman, and this is a special edition again, 2 nights in a row, of the Screen Talk Live After Hours version of our live daily show. So thank you for joining us. If you're joining us here later on in the evening, it's only 7 o'clock where we are, but it's definitely pitch black out there, and it's getting cold, that's for sure. I do have someone here with me, though. I have my friend, colleague, and co-host, Trevor Farney. Trevor, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, I got the mustache shaved off. I got the hair pulled back. I'm looking halfway respectable. So, pretty bad, actually.
You are wearing a tank top in winter, though, so...
Well, I
do have
fully
that.
respectable. That just wouldn't,
Still do have
wouldn't do.
that going on, so...
Right. If I was too normal, people would be like, what's going on, man? There's something up here.
For sure. But yeah, guys, again, we appreciate you guys being here. Just a couple things off the top. We do have a video up on the channel for an Xbox Series S that we are giving away here when we reach 20,000 subscribers. Make sure you go check that video out if you haven't already. But if to give you a little rundown of it, if you send in a super chat during a live show, including today's live show, it enters you in a chance to win that Xbox Series S. So make sure you guys are sending those super chats. You can send one in for as little as 99 cents, and that can win you an Xbox. So do it. And make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can have your movie news when you need it, where you need it, and so we can also hit that 20K subscriber mark so we can give that darn Xbox away finally and get it out of this damn office, this studio. But yeah, another thing off the top is we do have our new channel membership up. We are currently at 9 members. We're waiting on that 10th member. And we do appreciate all the channel members we currently have. We thank you guys for your support. It keeps us, are able to bring you guys this wonderful content and improve everything and improve the stream and the quality and all of that. So thank you guys so much for that. Be sure to go over and check that out and join if you haven't already. Yes, also make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And with that down, the way we like to do things around here is we like to go over a few main topics, and then when we're done with that, we like to take any comments or questions or super chats or anything that you guys leave down in the comment section below. So make sure you guys are asking us any comments or questions down there, and then make sure you're sticking around to the end of the show to see any of those comments or questions get answered. With that down, short show today, just 3 topics, but we are going to jump right into our first main topic today. And our first main topic today is this. So, I myself consider myself a pretty big Christopher Nolan fan. He's had a couple. The last one, what was it again? Tenet. Not the biggest Tenet fan. And you know what? Overall, I guess there's actually some kind of hit and misses there for me. But when it hits, it just hits so good that it's like, God, I love this guy, and he's so good at making movies. And one of the new things he's been working on is the Oppenheimer movie, which is based off the guy who kind of invented the nuclear bomb. And yeah, for sure. And we're finally getting first looks at it. So I want to bring up this article here that we have over here from CBR, where you can see that there's some steals, just steals. I imagine that a trailer is just, we're on the cusp of a trailer here soon, especially with these steals coming out. But here's one with RDJ, obviously, who looks stunning, man. He looks like he is going to really be putting on a performance of one of those classic Robert Downey Jr. performances.
Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, for sure. There was a couple other photos that I guess they don't have up here on CBR's website of Cillian Murphy and some other people that just look really good. It's all black and white, which I love that stuff. Yeah, I don't know if there's an exact release date on this. I know that it's 2023, but let's read a little bit of this article. Universal Pictures has released the first images from Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. The photos are included in Total Film's upcoming preview for the 2023's movies. Provided is the first look of Cillian Murphy as J. Robert Oppenheimer, the theoretical physicist who headed the Manhattan Project during World War II and is regarded as the father of the atomic bomb. Starring opposite Murphy and Emily Blunt are Oppenheimer's wife Kitty and Robert Downey Jr. as Louis Strauss, the head of the Atomic Energy Commission, who clashed with Oppenheimer in post-war years. The photos also show Nolan himself working behind the camera alongside his longtime cinematographer Hayao van Hoytema. I wish that we had more of the photos on here. I'm not sure why they didn't on CBR, but this looks stunning. Look, I mean, what do you expect? It's a Christopher Nolan movie. We know it's going to look polished. It's going to look beautiful. It's going to be well acted. It's going to be star-studded. All of those things. The question for me is, will I be able to hear the dialogue? And if so, I think I end up with an interesting movie. This has always kind of interested me because I don't really know a lot of the story of the father of the atomic bomb. Obviously, I know the name Oppenheimer and I know a little bit about it, but this is interesting to me. And to see Robert Downey Jr., I love Cillian Murphy. He's not an underrated actor, but he's definitely an underappreciated actor. Like, people know that he's a badass, but we just don't. He's not like winning awards and being the star in movies all the time anymore. Right. You know, he's just underappreciated. Really yeah, right. He's always kind of been underappreciated, but he's great, and he looks really good in this. Robert Downey Jr. is someone we've always really appreciated, but in these latter years, especially since, you know, not playing Tony Stark and Iron Man anymore, it's kind of been like, you know, we had what was it? Dr. Dolittle, you know, there's not really a lot to go on. And this looks like, again, him getting back into a real role and giving us a real performance. And it just, I mean, it looks amazing. It really does. Trevor, you're seeing these little photos, these little shots from Oppenheimer. I know you love Nolan. Tell me, what are your thoughts, man?
I mean, to me, there is no mixed bag for Nolan, and I don't care that people will call me a Nolanite or whatever. Like, I mean,
is that a thing? Is that a name?
Oh yeah, it's Nolanite. A derogatory name. You know, there's a lot of people that don't like that, really find Nolan overrated, and you know, power to you. If you find Nolan overrated, you find him overrated. Me personally, the only movie I've ever seen of Nolan's that I wasn't like absolutely sold on was Insomnia.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, that movie like starts off and it feels like it's gonna be awesome.
Yes, it does.
And then it just
especially in the beginning, all those opening shots.
It feels, and the cast,
and the acting,
Williams,
yeah,
and I mean everything. All of those elements are good. It just doesn't add up.
Nothing.
Which now is interesting because it's the only one that Christopher Nolan didn't have anything to do with the writing process, right? So he didn't write anything about it. The rest of all of his movies, him and Jonathan have written. You know, they've developed it, you know?
Sure.
And I know a lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of people that like Tenet a lot, but I love Tenet. I mean, I get why. I mean, they have the sound problems. I will agree, especially the first time when you're watching it in the theater with those big booming speakers. It is really hard to hear some of that dialogue, and it is an incredibly, like, you need to hear every line of dialogue because it's a puzzle. You know, it's a very complex puzzle, and it's a really good puzzle if you know are willing to, like, you got to watch it a couple times to kind of crack it and, you know, crack open the emotionality that's hidden in there. But Oppenheimer, I mean, everything about Oppenheimer's got me hyped, and they did release like a sort of short teaser trailer not too long ago for that thing, and even the teaser trailer looks freaking amazing. The stills, I mean, we forget. I mean, we love Robert Downey Jr.
as for sure,
as like the dude that is actually just Tony Stark in real life, but like, but as far as like, we forget, dude really can go. Like, Charlie, that Chaplin movie he's transcendent in that. He's amazing, and Natural Born Killers, and that's when he was in the height of like his drug issues and stuff, and he still gave an epic performance in that. So. he's a great actor, and I'm very happy to see that he's like taking on a real like actual acting
Yeah, he did
role.
that one right after Iron Man where he was like a lawyer.
Yeah,
an
that was
attorney.
pretty good.
Yeah,
that was pretty. He
his
did really good in
performance
it.
at least
Yes,
was good.
it
Movie was okay.
I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I can't
but
either.
It was
but
really,
his performance
he was
great.
Really, exactly.
Yeah.
It was like the judge, or I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
He's like
yeah.
a judge. He's like,
Yeah.
and he, I don't know. I don't remember anything about the movie except for the fact it's like, damn, Robert Downey can go.
Yeah.
You know, so and so that's cool. And I mean, I don't know if this is a coming out party for Cillian Murphy, but it's the chance to really, like, on a big stage, show everybody that he can lead a show, which he can. Like, the man has got the presence. The man has got more than enough of the chops. He's charismatic. He just doesn't. He's so close to being like Hollywood handsome, but he's just like a little off of it. So, like, as a result, he's never really, really broken into that, like, top tier. But he deserves to be. He's one of the most talented men on the planet. So
Yeah, for sure.
So it's so cool to see him. And I mean, any time a Nolan movie's out, Trevor's going to be excited. So
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I expect that we'll get a release day or a trailer, a full trailer, not a teaser or whatever they call these other things. I imagine we'll get a full trailer here soon with all this starting to roll out. 2023 is just a couple weeks away now, guys. So, but yeah, what do you guys think about all this? You guys seeing these first shots for Oppenheimer? You guys huge Nolan fans? Could you care less? Do you want to see this movie? How do you feel about it being black and white? I'm definitely interested in how you guys feel about that. But other than that, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. All right, with that down, we are going to jump into our second main topic today. And our second main topic today is this. So, John Krasinski was Reed Richards for a day. For one whole day of our lives, John Krasinski was Reed Richards. Now, as any of you that know me know, there's very few things that I love on the planet as much as I love The Office. I love The Office so much. I watch it daily. I have for years. And of course, John Krasinski plays a big role in The Office, and this is how we all know John Krasinski. And then, of course, he directed his directorial debut of A Quiet Place, which was amazing. And then even what I think is the even more superior Quiet Place 2 that he directed. And then, and so then he got this little gig playing Reed Richards, right? And we're like, oh my God, it happened because we kind of fan casted this ourselves, right? The fans really wanted this. And then we found out that Kevin Feige kind of, heard the murmurs of the fans and thought, this is kind of be funny. And that they never really kind of intended to use John Krasinski moving forward as our Reed Richards. To further that, we have this article coming to us from The Wrap where John Krasinski just was on set finishing up shooting, what's it called that he does? Jack Ryan. And he did in an interview, he was asked about, had there been any more discussions about him coming back to play Reed? And he said this, quote, "There aren't any discussions at all. The only discussion I had was actually in the second to last week of Jack Ryan," Krasinski said. "Kevin Feige called and said, 'Would you ever fly to LA and play in our sandbox for a day?' I was honored to do it. I flew right from Budapest when we wrapped and went right to the Doctor Strange set. I'm a big fan of all those characters and that world. So to get to play in that sandbox for one day was a real thrill." This is really interesting. So it really literally was a day that he was on set, right? So let's read a little bit more of this. Krasinski played a version of Reed Richards from an alternate universe in the Sam Raimi directed sequel, offering Marvel Studios the opportunity to recast the role in future Fantastic Four film, especially considering Krasinski's Richards was viciously murdered on screen. Krasinski says, quote, "It's totally insane to be in a room with all those people, and again, to be a part of that narrative is crazy," he added. "But yeah, being turned into spaghetti wasn't my end goal in life as far as how it goes in the Marvel universe, but, it was fun nonetheless." this is really interesting and this is really cool. Again, this is a guy who was super out of place in that room, as he should have felt, because he was standing next to, Patrick Stewart and stuff. But hey, Krasinski, you've come a long way, man, and you deserve it, brother. So you deserve to be in that room, and don't you ever say anything other than that, man. You're a great actor, you're a great performer, and you're an even better human being, and we're all lucky to have you. So that being said, what I want to talk about is this idea that it sounds like, as I kind of told you, months ago, Trevor, when this all happened, that we may not get John Krasinski as Reed Richards. And that may have kind of just been this fun little, here you go, fans, at least it exists. You know that in some world, somewhere, what you guys want exists. But that's not what we're going to do. And it seems like that's what's being said. I mean, something we're not talking about today, but it seems that Fantastic Four has actually kind of began production as of this week. And if that's the case, then obviously Krasinski is not playing Reed Richards, right? This is interesting. Like I said, to say the least, I know a lot of people out there not only just love John Krasinski, but really wanted it again, that we fan casted it. But then once they got it, they were like, this is it. I don't want to see any other version of Reed Richards unless I'm seeing more of this John Krasinski version. So I understand that it's going to be hard and difficult for a lot of people to accept something, especially so quickly, right? Because Fantastic Four is destined to come out in 2024, which is just around the corner, and Doctor Strange will only be a couple years old at the time. So 2 years ago, we would have had a different Reed Richards than the one we're going to get in this movie, which could sometimes be confusing. But I trust Marvel, and Feige we trust. And it's too bad. There was always two that we fan casted, that Emily Blunt would play the Invisible Woman side by side with him, which would be just perfect. But yeah, I have faith in what we'll get is good. But this is interesting news. Trevor, you're hearing this news. John Krasinski saying, hey, listen, outside of that one time Feige called me and said, would you come here for a day? And I went there for a day. Outside of that, there has been no discussion of me playing Reed Richards again in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, first and foremost, I'll say about any of the casting news, if you come out and you give me a really good cast, a really good actor to play the character, any of the gripes that I'm about to mention will be gone, I have other people that I maybe necessarily wouldn't mind seeing, but now I will get into the gripes, because easily my number one pick, since I've ever even thought about it, was John Krasinski. Like, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt were made for this role. It was like, that is like a dream casting that you just don't get. It's like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. It's Thor as Chris Hemsworth. People, just born to play that.
Thor as Chris Hemsworth.
Exactly.
We've cast Thor to play Chris Hemsworth.
Well, yeah.
That's who else would you cast?
There's a once in a lifetime sort of thing where they maybe exist at the same plane. But yeah, there's, just once, and that's one of them, man, where it's like, not only do you have each one of these specifically would be perfect for that role, but then they also have a built-in chemistry that we've seen on screen and has been marketable too. So honestly, I get why they would maybe be like, oh yeah, let's do this fun little thing. But there have been some decisions recently about that Disney has made that have been like, man, I can maybe understand the intention behind what you just did, but the execution is sloppy. I don't think this is a good idea. Like, if you're going to, and I'm not the only one that felt that way in any way, shape, or form about Krasinski and Blunt as the Fantastic Four, or, and I think that honestly, I really love WandaVision, but what it reminds me of is when they brought in Quicksilver, and it was so cool at the moment, but then they just turned it into literally a penis joke. And and I was like, man, I don't know. Like I mean, there's a lot of ways you could have done that were more satisfying. If you're gonna recast him or whatever, don't tempt like the belovedness of fans. Like, don't do that, because you can't get our excitement up that much for something and then just, because I mean, it would be it's very similar circumstance here. I mean, they know how ravenously we want John Krasinski and Emily Blunt to be this. Now, maybe there's behind the scenes things. It sounds like he'd do it. To be honest, from the like if they had the right thing on the table, he'd do it. So you're gonna tell me that you have this casting choice on the table that everyone loves, that would be dope, and you're not gonna do it? Like, you're not even gonna try? You're not even gonna try and figure it out with him? And I mean, again, like, I'll say what I said at the beginning. Like, if at the end of this thing they cast like Glenn Howerton and he comes out and he slays it, whatever, all gripes fixed.
Yeah, winning cures all thing, right?
But I don't, and honestly, I don't even. I normally, you asked me about a year and a half ago, I would always say in Feige we trust. But there's been enough things at this point. I don't know if they're Feige's fault or whatever, but they're still happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that have kind of made me like, well, I'm not just going to trust it on faith anymore.
Well, we'll have to wait and see now that Chapek is out and Bob Iger's back. We'll give it some time, and if there's a difference, then we'll understand that he had a foot on his throat the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
And if there's not a difference, then we'll understand that the other thing that's possible is he's just overloaded.
Yeah.
There's just too much going on for him to do it. But I think it's kind of a combination of the both.
Right.
I think getting that foot off your throat will probably help a ton.
I think so. And I mean, it's I'll repeat it one more time. Like, winning heals all the wounds. If you throats off the neck, he just always had a person that he knew would be perfect for this. The dude has done so many miracles, and he's done so many strange who would have ever guessed that Andy from Parks and Rec could be Peter Quill? Who would have ever made that connection? And he brought him out, and he not only was Chris Pratt perfect for the role, but he showed that Chris Pratt was this little diamond in the freaking rough, and he saw that.
That was actually what is the chick that runs Sony for years?
I'm not sure.
Amy something?
Oh.
I can't remember her name. Let me look it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was actually her. Because originally, what's his name that directs Guardians of the Galaxy?
James Gunn.
James Gunn. Originally, James Gunn had, what's his name that plays Shazam? Zachary Levi.
Okay.
Originally, he had cast Zachary Levi to play.
Interesting.
Wouldn't be a bad choice. And then, God, I can't remember her name. But the lady from, let me look it up. Amy Pascal. That's her name.
Okay.
Amy Pascal, James Gunn tells her, hey, this is who they're like friends or whatever. And Amy Pascal's like, look, dude, like Zachary Levi's great. I love Zachary Levi. But I'm telling you now, I know the dude. I know the dude that's meant to play this role. And James Gunn's like, well, I kind of already told Zachary Levi. I mean, I kind of led him to believe that, he's at the top of and she's like, dude, I understand, but just sit down with this dude for just an hour and just have a conversation with him.
Right.
And he's like, okay, who is it? And she's like, it's Chris Pratt. And he's like, the dude from Parks and Rec? And she's like, trust me. Just trust me. And James Gunn sat down with him for an hour. And after the hour, James Gunn was like, yeah, this dude's Star-Lord, no doubt about it.
Can you get ripped? Like that's all I need to know. He's like, I can get ripped. You send me the right ingredients.
The money. You send me the right money.
Right.
I hire the right people.
Trust me, I want to get ripped. I just don't know how.
For sure.
But
yeah.
Is he studying?
But you guys are hearing this information. Again, it seems John Krasinski is not going to play Reed Richards moving forward. We can kind kind of chalk that up and accept it, at least not in our universe and 616 MCU canon, right? Maybe we do some point later on see a other world, and where he plays, who knows? But as of now, it seems like that's not what we're going to get. So what do you guys think of all this? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, please. All right. With that down, we are going to jump into our third and final main topic today. And our third and final main topic today is this. So the trailer for Across the Spider-Verse, the first full trailer for Across the Spider-Verse has dropped today, and we just had a chance to check it out. We want to give you our reactions and thoughts to it. And I just want to start off by saying that quite often I say that the Sony should be trusted with Spider-Man movies because, and I said this years ago, Trevor, when they were taking back Spider-Man and you were upset, and I said, hey, at the end of the day, Sony's made great, every Spider-Man movie they ever made, first of all, was financially successful. Yeah. All of them. Yeah. And then outside of that, they were all somewhere between decent movies to really, really good. Yeah. And to maybe one specifically being Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, potentially being maybe still in the discussion for the greatest comic book movie ever made. I mean, especially given the time and the era and where comic book movies existed at the time.
You at least have to give it an honorable mention.
For sure. So I've always said that Sony should be trusted, and nothing is more proof positive than the other thing that I say, which is the greatest cinematic theater release Spider-Man theatrical released film ever made is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It is, I believe, I don't want to say, but I think it was a 99 on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, I still think it's a 90, right? It's really good. The animation style is very unique. The storytelling is very unique. Seeing a Peter Parker, seeing all these, Peter Porker, seeing Nick Cage as the noir Spider-Man, all these different versions of it were great. Trevor, we actually talked on the show yesterday or maybe it was last Friday, about something to do with this. And I said, wouldn't it be cool if we got to see the PlayStation 1 Spider-Man in this somehow?
Right.
In this trailer, I don't know if you caught it, he is in it.
Is he really?
The Spider-Man from PS1 is in the goddamn movie.
That's amazing.
And that's freaking awesome, man. So,
oh my God.
I love that. There's a scene where there's about literally 30 Spider-Man attacking Miles Morales. And if you can pause on that scene, that's where you'll see the PlayStation 1 version and maybe the Sony PS4 version and all these different, I also mentioned how cool it would it be to see the 90s animated.
That one's in there.
There's no way we're not seeing that now, right?
Yeah.
Also, Oscar Isaac playing Spider-Man 2099 is freaking awesome.
Oh my God.
Or Ultimate Spider-Man, whatever you want to call him. There's so much fun in this movie. It's also a part one of a two-part kind of event that's gonna, I believe, this thing. I'm gonna say it right now. I know this is gonna be 4 years or 5 years before this ever comes to fruition, but the whole thing ends with Miles Morales entering to live action. The two films that they're doing, this trilogy of Into the Spider-Verse, ends with Miles Morales actually coming into real life world. And then the next movie we get is a Miles Morales Spider-Man movie. I actually, Trevor, if you remember, I actually called after seeing Into the Spider-Verse, and then we heard that they were taking away Spider-Man. If you remember, I was actually the one to say, dude, I think they're going to do a live-action Spider-Verse. I think they're going to try to do live action where they bring Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and guess what?
Right.
They goddamn did the thing, right? And I honestly think that, seriously, this ends with Miles becoming live action and him becoming the new kind of premier character at Sony for Spider-Man. And then you can take Peter and go license him to Marvel for a bunch of freaking money. Right. You guys want to use this that version, we don't even need him anymore.
Right, we got
us. Yeah, we got our Spider-Man, and not only do we got him, he is the premier. The fact of the matter is the best version of Spider-Man is Miles Morales' version, and it's the most relatable. It's the most diverse in a time right now where that's all everyone is clamoring for is more diversity, more, all of this shit. It fits in perfect to that. He's a half black, half Mexican kid. He will be man. If we could get Donald Glover to somehow,
man's like 40 now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but he still looks young. Black don't crack, man.
Yeah, but he can't. The youngest he could play is like 29.
There you go. Okay, so he's a junior in college or a senior in college. That's what the 90s animated series is. He's a college guy in that series. He's no longer a high school kid. And that would be kind of interesting, too.
I mean, I wouldn't have any...
I don't know.
If you
Maybe
can make
he just
happen,
plays his uncle
please.
still, like he
That's
does it,
fine with
right?
me.
Whatever. But my point is, I think this ends with Miles Morales being their premier character and it crossing over, right? Because the thing is you can't end this trilogy with more Miles Morales animated movies. You can't, because we just had a trilogy of them. Right. But you could literally kick off a trilogy of live action Miles Morales movies and everyone would go, ooh, and we love how this connects, and we love how this, we get live action Oscar Isaacs now, where we get live, what does this mean? It opens the door for so much. And then what does it mean for the world that they've created with Morbius and Kraven the Hunter, and how does that all play into it? I think Sony's got a lot going on here for themselves, and I think there's a big world to be explored here. Obviously, we've here at the channel we dig the Venom franchise. We love Tom Hardy, and those movies aren't great, but they're just so much fun and just silly fun. So yeah, we hope that this all ties in a good way. But this trailer looks awesome, man, and I'm super excited to see it. Trevor, you've seen the trailer just a little bit ago. Tell me, what are your thoughts on it, man?
Man, I'm not surprised. It's like the first movie was absolutely killer. I mean, it's a 97, by the way. It's on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. I mean, that is crazy high. And I mean, it deserves it, in my opinion. I mean, 100% wouldn't necessarily be off the table for how good that movie is. Like, it is a genuinely all-star type of film. Yeah. And so, I mean, you didn't have, like, I said it before when we, talked about something like the Mario movie, like, the goal of the trailer is to make you more excited than you were before, you know. And the Mario one made me a lot more. Level. Yeah. The Mario one made me a lot more excited, because I didn't give a crap about the Mario one at all. This one, I was already excited about it, and the trailer just amped it up a little more because I was like, "Yep, just what I thought. It's gonna be awesome." Like, right,
as expected.
Right, all right, I was correct. But I mean, I think that'd be a great idea to bring him into live action. I think it'd be. I don't know. I trust Sony to a degree. I trust them in their animation department. Their animation department, to me, has pretty much been spot on often. But their film department, their like film prop department, is the very definition of hit and miss. I mean, like sometimes some of those Sony movies, like they're not just bad, they're like totally soulless. Like they hurt to watch. I mean, they have, like, I always know when I'm getting into one because they get this like very specific gradient effect on the screen, and it just I hate it. They call it the Sony effect. So I mean, I think it's a cool idea, and if you can get that same kind of spirit and magic that is coming in from these animated movies into a Miles Morales like feature film with live action, oh my God, I'm in. Like, yeah, that's awesome. Now, do I trust them to do it? No, not yet. I mean, to me, and I mean, if they could pull it off, I'd even be more excited because I love Tom Hardy as Venom. That's a great casting choice. I hate Jared Leto as a person. He's a terrible individual. but he did a great job. I mean, he's like he does a good job as that character as Morbius. Like, so I'd kind of like to see more of him. Aaron Taylor Johnson is Kraven the Hunter. Oh my God, come on! I mean, that's a great. I mean, the casting choices all around have been awesome, but a lot of the movies that they've actually made in whatever universe they're trying to do, I mean, it's just. I mean, some of them have been like. I mean, I like Venom 1 as a whole. Like, it was a fun movie and I enjoyed it. The second one. I'll be honest, I didn't like the second one very much. The second one...
Yeah, I wasn't as big on it, but...
It pushed past
it had its
fun.
Moments, though.
It did.
Yeah.
It did, but to me...
It was a little too campy.
Yeah, it was a little too dumb. Like, like the first one walked it pretty good. I still wanted... it wasn't really the movie that I necessarily wanted, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. The second one, I didn't even really enjoy it for what it was. Like, I was like... And it sucked because Woody Harrelson's Carnage should have been... I mean, he was great.
He was great. I mean, he's always
but he
great.
was acting through a bad script. You know? So I was like, man, this
it wasn't
dude,
even a bad script. It was just like a non-script.
Yeah, right.
Like,
right. There's nothing going on in that movie. There's not a story.
I mean, even the dialogue is just so. It's almost like one of those scripts where it's like, well, these are just suggestions.
Right, right. You got to impart.
Come on, Woody.
Right.
be Woody Harrelson. What do you think we hired you for?
Right. You were on Cheers for like 6 years,
we want
bro.
you to write this part.
Right.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And I definitely, and so, yeah, I don't know. And I mean, they do that a lot. They hit that a lot. I mean, the Sony, sometimes that Sony film department, I'm just like, what is going on over there, man? Like, what are you thinking? You know, so, I mean, I'm excited for this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for the idea that we could maybe wrap these things up and finally give all of these good casting choices a chance to really shine. But do I actually believe that they could pull those later ones off? No. Yeah. No, I do not.
For sure. But guys, you guys have probably had a chance to check this trailer out. If you haven't, go check it out. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts? Are you guys excited for this? How'd you feel about the first Into the Spider-Verse? Do you like that it's a 2-part series? Yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below.
That's right.
All right. With that down, we are done with our main topics today. We're going to jump over. We've had a little bit of chat today. Lucas was in here earlier. He said best Nolan movie. Best Nolan movie? I mean, honestly, I would say his best movie to me is probably my favorite. It's hard to say Memento isn't his best movie,
right.
But honestly, my favorite Nolan movie is probably his best movie, and that's Interstellar.
I love
it's
Interstellar.
It's beautifully made. The space stuff. I love space, and it's just so amazing, and it tells a wonderful story that will make you cry by the end of it. Mm-hmm. So it kind of gives you a full package. And it's really a real good display of Nolan at his just peak of what he's able to do. And when he's able to bring something like that to the table, you could count me in every time. Right. I mean, every single time. But Trevor, what about you? Favorite Nolan movie?
Man, I mean, I gotta.
I'm sorry, best Nolan movie. Big difference. So
it is. I mean, I would a lot of times jump right in with the Interstellar there. And I just want it said out loud that I also love Interstellar because that is such a dang good movie. And I also would have to agree that maybe like the most like innovative, I mean, it is one of the all-time, so original is Memento. Memento is so cool. Like, it's such a good movie, but I'm going to give the actual mention to Prestige because that movie is so... Yeah. I mean, it's one of the best metaphors for the filmmaking process and for art in general that has ever been made. And it's done in such, I mean, it is so cool. And it's a grand epic movie with two of the best performances of two of the best actors of their generation going up against each other. And it is, I mean, I've had really transcendent experiences multiple times with that movie. And what I love about Nolan, the thing that I think he is the best at, is that he can take a complex idea and make it and put it in a way that you feel it. You know, with Interstellar, he took the fifth dimension something that's very, very hard to get a grasp on, and he kind of made it in a way that you could feel what these things were like.
Comprehend.
Yeah, like
try to
have a more like genuine comprehension of it instead of a theoretical one, which is with that one, or in Prestige. What he does is with the concept of the film. You know, it's like this is laid out. This is the theory of film in a way that you can comprehend and digest, and it is. I love that he does that with like every one of his films. He takes like a really deep, hard to understand concept and he breaks it into something that people can feel and experience instead of just see and think about.
Let's see. Lucas also says best Cillian Murphy movie or performance. Okay, so I'm gonna give you two on this one. My favorite Cillian Murphy movie, and this is an example of Trevor of a time when he was getting lead roles, is the Danny Boyle directed Sunshine.
I haven't seen that one yet.
What?
No, I've heard it's great. I just haven't ever watched it.
Yeah, love that movie.
Alex Garner wrote that.
In the way I wanted it to end, as a lot of movies do. But God, it's a beautiful movie, especially for the time, 2008, I believe, maybe 2009. It's really great. It really is. I love space movies so much. So
right.
I have kind of a bias towards them, but. Yeah, but the best performance, Cillian Murphy, is The Wind That Shakes the Barley, probably.
I haven't seen that.
You've never seen that either?
No.
What? Oh, man. Yeah, that movie's got to be like in the like 90 upper like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, it's one of the best performances ever given in that movie. So you should definitely check it out if you're a Cillian Murphy fan. Trevor, what about you? Best Cillian Murphy performance?
Man, his classic role in that 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
He's
sure.
I mean that's like the first one that really broke him into the big stream. But I mean it's his performance is the reason that movie stands the test of time. Like I mean it's a really well-made movie, but he really brings it. But I also I love what he did in Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, he's in A Quiet Place 1 as well.
Is he really?
Yeah, Yeah.
Where is he in that?
It's like a small like
is he like the baseball and stuff like that?
Yeah, right. Because it's
Because then later on,
right.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, that's like, I mean, and obviously
He
as
is
the
great.
Scarecrow,
right.
God, dude,
He's the greatest Scarecrow.
Every
as well.
time he shows up, I'm just like, there he is, boys.
Yeah,
that's my boy.
Yeah, he has such a recognizable face too. Matt says anything with the 90s style animation is awesome, or 80s as well. Yeah, I don't even know if you would call it that. It's so weird. It's like a weird gridded kind of thing. It's like kind of a grid that it's very hard to explain, but very, very unique to say the least.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, that movie was so good. The only thing that coming out of that movie, my only complaint is as an adult, I just wanted a little bit more, like, real grief and real, I wanted it to really impact me and
like Spider-Man 3 did.
Yeah,
Spider-Man 3 did hit me with that,
right?
Like real, like adult grief.
Right, and I kind of was expecting that with Peter Parker's whole story and all of that. It definitely is grief in a way, but it's definitely more kid friendly, which makes sense because it's a fucking kids animated movie. I'm just the big dumb adult loser that happens to be there. So but yeah, it looks like that's it, guys. Yeah, we appreciate you guys being here. Short show today. Hopefully we will be back tomorrow on time with a regular show. We will find out more about that tomorrow. But also, just real quick before we get out of here, guys, don't forget we got the video up for the Xbox we're giving away. We just need to hit 20K subs. Make sure you guys go check that video out. We also have our membership up. So go join our membership. We're looking for that 10th member. It could be you. Don't let it not be.
Round us out, baby.
You don't want to be 11. No one wants to be 11. So make sure you guys go check that out as well, and be sharing the love on those videos, for sure. But yeah, other than that, I have been joined today by my co-host, Trevor Farty. Trevor, where can people find you at, buddy?
They can find me usually under the bridge around McLean. But if not there, you can find me on Instagram at the Mad Making Mind. Yeah.
Awesome, guys. And you guys know where to find me. My handle for Twitter is right there at Keaton Toothman. Ba-bam! Go over there. Follow me on Twitter, where most of everyone that was following me left because Elon Musk. Thanks, Elon Musk.
Son of a gun.
But yeah, like I said, we plan on being back here tomorrow, hopefully on time, on our normal 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you guys join us back around tomorrow around that time, and we will see you guys then.
That's right.